4:30, actually 4:31. So we're going to call the meeting to order. And the first item up is approval of the agenda. Does anything need to be added, deleted? We're good? Okay, Lisa says hope not. So, okay. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have an agenda. Board minutes. I hope you've had a chance to look over those. They're next. And there's a couple, well, there's a closed session and a regular board meeting.
Move approval.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, they're approved. That takes us into the no action part of our meeting, and I believe Mark Don is going to, well, I believe your name is here to release
Yes, sir.
student information.
Just to make you aware of something that has come up. If our Student Code of Conduct talks about the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, or FERPA, and FERPA allows us to give outside agencies certain information about our students called directory information. It's their name, address, date and place of birth, participation in activities, weight, height of members of athletic teams, attendance dates, grade level, diplomas, and most recent previous school or education institution. Whenever our students are unfortunately involved in some accidents, usually if we have a school bus accident or some other vehicle accident, when law enforcement investigates those accidents, they want that directory information, but they also want two other items for their reports, and that is generally the race and gender of our students, because that goes along with the report that the law enforcement folks put together for their reporting of an accident. Race and gender are not directory information under FERPA. So what we've had to do after speaking with Kim Edwards is that in future years we're going to put that in our Student Code of Conduct so parents know that if there's an issue with that they'll be able to contact the school. There are procedures to go through to have that taken out. In the meantime, we're going to send an all-call home this week to folks to say if your child is involved in some sort of incident on a bus or another Beaufort County vehicle, that this is requested by law enforcement. Right now, we want to alert parents so we can avoid going through the process of getting a subpoena, and immediately, of course, once we receive the subpoena, then we turn over the information to them. It's just kind of paperwork hurdles that we're trying to get through. Okay. But I just wanted all of you to be aware of it, so if you get calls, that's the point. We're not actively going out releasing information, but unfortunately, when these things happen, those reports have to be filed, and they include those details. So.
Okay.
But the parent will have the ability to say, I don't want that information released for my child if they choose to.
That's correct, and then we would go through the subpoena process, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, so.
But I just want you to be aware.
I don't think there's any questions asked, really, so. Okay, that carries us to our first action item, and we're going to have some improvement plans, and I think Ms. Tahaney gets the honor of going first. Or who's going to go first?
Ms. Green.
Ms. Green's going to go first? Okay, on mine it shows Snowden.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity for me to come and discuss with you our plans for this year and to a little bit talk about last year as well. If you have questions during my presentation, please feel free to ask. First of all, I wanted to take just a very quick look at data. I know that you all are inundated by the data that come from the schools, and you've had some things to look at from John Small, but I did want to point out that we've had some increases from the previous year. Math is up 7 points. Reading is going to be our focus, obviously, for this year coming up because it only increased by 1 point. Science did very well. Science increased considerably from the year before with an increase of 8 points, which gives us an overall score for this past year, 14-15, of 47% proficiency. You can see that there is an increase. Of course, we know that this is not good enough. We need to do more, and we need to be more focused. We always talk about growth, meaning student growth. Did students grow what was expected through data that our DPI statisticians have? We did increase our growth component. 13-14 was 50. And 14-15, 57.1. So there are improvements going on. We just need to improve upon what we're already doing, keep what we're already doing, and look at those things that aren't working so well for us. So first off, reading, which is going to be, of course, our main focus. We do still have the Hill RAP program. We saw great progress with that last year. 57.1% of the students that we had going through the program saw 1.5 years or more growth in their Lexile scores. Now, these are the students that we're targeting that are non-readers. Many of them are performing 2 to 3 years below grade level. HillRap is a very intensive program. The students see the HillRap teacher daily. It's a ratio of 1 teacher to 4 students, and it's a very, very successful motivator for students in their reading progress. Achieve 3000 is something new to John Small this year. It is a reading program, an online reading program that we purchased through our Title I funds, and Achieve 3000 provides a very individualized reading comprehension program for all of our students, meaning that the assignments, the articles that the students read, and the questions coming through Achieve 3000 are targeted to their Lexile level. For example, a teacher could be teaching about the environment, and in particular talking about perhaps the rivers and streams. All of the students in the class might be learning about that. The lower students would have a very short paragraph with questions that go with the paragraph that are on a lower level of reading, whereas the higher performing students would have a more comprehensive, actually more than a paragraph, but more of an essay to read, and they would have comprehension questions on their level. We had Achieve 3000 2 years ago for about half the year and found that it was something that our reading teachers really loved. And one of our teachers who used the program that many years ago, when I asked her what was it that made her scores go up so much, she attributed it to the Achieve 3000 program and the use of it in Fidelity. So we're really looking forward to a change with Achieve 3000. Guided reading. All of our teachers that are language arts teachers are in the process of being trained in the guided reading process. This is something that's used extensively in the primary grades, but not in 4th and 5th grade. However, we have many students, as you know, that are performing below grade level, and we feel that this will be a way to target the needs of those students directly. All of the teachers have assessed their children, they have placed them in the reading groups, and they will be working with children daily in small groups, targeting the specific needs that those children will have in reading. Something that's very exciting for us, and I've heard through the teachers that they are excited about it as well and feel like this is something that's really going to move them forward, is the monthly task force meetings. These meetings are going to be put together by our coaches and our central services directors. But they are also going to bring in the lead teachers from our county who will share their best practices with our teachers, and we're really looking forward to this being a key to how teachers change what they do in the classroom. Data walls. We have not at John Small had a data wall previous to this year. We already have one in place and are looking forward to putting more data on our walls. These are located in the teacher workrooms. They are going to be looking at specific objectives that each subject area is responsible for and how the students are progressing through those subject areas. We have a data wall currently for just the EOGs from last year, so teachers know where their students are starting. This is just a picture of one of our HillRap classes. As you see, there's one teacher working with 4 students. I think one of them's absent, so his ball is up in the chair there. We did purchase the exercise balls for the students to sit on. It helps with keeping their attention on what the teacher is doing right then. So the kids love it. They think it's a game. Our 3-4 transition students, we've been successful with them as well. They are also showing 1 or more years growth as a group when we look at their EOG scores. We do provide for them 110 minutes of uninterrupted intensive reading. All of these students are receiving Hill Rap instruction, as well as guided reading instruction, as well as a literacy program throughout all of their subjects. I have 3 teachers that are placed with these students in a self-contained setting. In other words, the 3 teachers teach all of their subjects. The students do not move out to other areas, except for specials like PE and music and art and that type thing. We're finding that many of these students are finally liking school and finally feeling a sense of confidence and a sense of, I can do this, because traditionally these have been the students that have not performed well in regular classrooms. Currently, we have 35 students who still have the reading retention label for grade 3 Read to Achieve requirements. Math. One of the things that I'm very excited about this year is Math Talk. And for those of you that don't know what Math Talk is an initiative where the teachers, through their questioning process, through their vocabulary lists, and through their small groups, have students doing very intensive problem solving. Many of the resources that we have, whether online or textbook resources, have not really given those in-depth problems, so the Ready workbooks is something that we purchased. The Ready workbooks are short, maybe just 4 or 5 questions per page, but they are thinking questions. They are the type of question that a child would have to sit down and really work through and might have to ask one of his peers to help him with. All of our math classes are using learning stations, which will give teachers in the math classes the opportunity to work with small groups so that they can work with those students and know what their deficiencies are and target in on them. And of course, they will be using data walls as well. One of the things that our math teachers did last year was to sponsor the regional math contest. We had about 10 other from our surrounding area, Pitt County, Beaufort County. I think Hyde County also came. You know, one of the things that they do at the high school level really well is competitiveness among the academic areas. We don't see that much at the elementary school, so we thought this was a great way to assist our students that do well in math and enjoy math. Science is the subject area that showed the highest increase in proficiency from 13-14 to 14-15. So in this area, we are not going to put quite as much focus as reading, but of course the things that we're going to be looking at are students doing hands-on learning in small groups, whether they be demonstration lessons, research, or experiments at their desks. Sticking with the curriculum, making sure that what teachers are teaching is really what the curriculum is and what is exhibited on the EOG. We did purchase Study Island through Title I funds, which is a practice for our EOG experiences. We're also very, very excited. We were told by Duke Energy that we are one of the winners of their contest to have a science night. So in the spring, they will be bringing in some materials so that in the evening, students and their parents and families can come in and all can participate in several, I think there's 12 different activities dealing with science at the 5th grade level. And here's one of our students showing one of his inventions. This one, if you can see it, is a bent caulking gun. And if you've ever tried to put some caulking into some very tight areas, that might be something that you could use in your home. Students have to think it out, think of a good, helpful invention. They have to be able to display it, do research, and be able to explain to parents, other students, and teachers why their invention that they have come up with would help in the, either at home, school, or in the community. PBIS is not really an academic thing. positive behavior strategies, but I did want to put it in here because we have found great success with PBIS. We have reduced our care referrals, which is ISS, and all of our discipline referrals to our office by making sure that each student has a behavior log that is consistent from teacher to teacher. We reward them for the points that they receive during each grading period, and this is something that the kids really look forward to. I think it has very much helped the students to have a lot of pride and responsibility. There's a picture of our fall ball with some students that attended. And again, to attend, the students had to gain a certain number of points for their responsibility and their good behavior throughout the 9-week period. I didn't want to forget the AIG students. We focus a lot on our students that are struggling, but also AIG is one of the most difficult areas to show growth. And we do a great job at John Small with offering to students through the AIG program the upper level type and comprehensive type things that they need to be doing for students that are functioning at a higher level. This is the only subgroup that we have that actually met growth last year. They met growth in math and science. This is a picture of a student and their parent. This is one of our science nights, not the Duke Energy night that we're looking forward to, but this is just one of the math and science nights that we've had throughout the year so that parents can come in and see how their students are solving problems and doing their critical thinking. Another thing that we're very proud of this year is the Cornerstone After School program. Through a grant, Cornerstone has partnered with us, and we have 100 students in our after-school program. We've targeted our lowest performing students and are hoping that through this they will show an increased growth on their EOG at the end of this school year. Each day they receive homework help. Each day they receive tutoring in all of their subjects, and they have an individualized time where they get targeted assistance in both math and in reading. Not to mention, we also do robotics because we want to have a little bit of fun time. Robotics, Lego robotics may seem to be something that is just fun. However, it does require a lot of upper level thinking. And of course, every day we do offer them some physical activity at the end of the day at 3 o'clock. And if you're going to keep 4th and 5th graders on task from 3 to 5, you need to let them get up and run. So, the question is, what are we going to do different in 2015-16 that we did not do last year to increase our positive movement toward higher test scores? One, focused collaboration among teachers. We have already discussed with teachers how their PLC meetings need to run. We're getting help from the coaches. We're getting help from our district leaders to assist us in deciding what are the things that we need to work on. We formed a school-wide data team. This team meets before school. They are the ones that are going to drive the decisions that are made in the PLCs. They are the ones that are going to, through input from their colleagues, think about what are the areas that we need to focus on. The first thing we're going to focus on is our benchmark data. Students just took their 9 weeks benchmark, and we're going to look at what worked, what didn't work. Optimal use of instruction time, bell to bell. Although we don't have bells, but when a student comes in, they get to work, and the teacher is working with the students the entire time. Differentiated instruction is a priority for us. As you know, we have a very diverse group of students at John Small and throughout the Washington City District. We have some very high-performing students. We have some very low-performing students and everything in between. So in order to make growth and in order to achieve proficiency, we have to take those students from where they are and move them forward. I think these 4 things that we've listed right here are going to be what makes a difference in our school next year as we increase the teacher capacity. We're looking at making sure that teachers know what they should be teaching, and do a good job of teaching that to their students. We're also looking at improved communication with staff and parents through social networking sites, and we're looking at the parent nights. I have a teacher who is very, very involved in this, and she's very, very excited about it, that when we have our parent nights, our students and families will be there to interact with each other. It won't just be a meeting where we give information, but it will be more like a family environment. It may be sometimes just fun, and it may be sometimes actually like the science experiments that you saw with ladies sitting with her daughter. One of the things that is going to be coming up soon is a survey of all stakeholders to target the needs of our school. That will be staff, students, and parents. And that's the end. Do you have questions for me?
Do you want to walk us through any of the actual plan that's here that they're asking approval on?
Do you want to talk about the plan, the template?
Yeah, the template's attached. I got what she says here, but now there's a whole plan here that they're asking for us to approve. Isn't that correct?
Yeah. And there'll be some things that we'll add as we go along. I think you're going to see layers. It'll be a part of the plan, and it will evolve over some time. We haven't got the survey data and all that completed yet.
I was going to say, and I've scanned through it, so it just looks pretty much like what's just been said, but I mean, there were several pages, so I didn't know if everybody had a chance to actually look through it, if we're going to actually approve it.
And if my memory serves me correctly, these plans are reviewed by other counties, other DPI staff, is that correct?
They are.
It's not our people doing the plans.
Right.
It's being reviewed. Okay.
And we'll send that to DPI and they'll send feedback back to us.
Okay.
And we'll be able to edit. You want to go
So,
through?
no, there's no need to go all the way through. I was just saying if there's anything you wanted to highlight. I mean, was there anything you wanted to say?
I think basically everything that I've said was somewhere
Is
in the
in there.
plan.
Okay.
I think.
I have a question, Ms.
Sure.
Green. How would you say your, I don't know if you have a PTA or a PTO at your school, is it a PTA?
PTA.
Yeah. How would you say your involvement is there? Is it okay? I mean, they can all be better, but I mean, compared to what it's been, do you see any improvement in the parent involvement?
Yes, I do. This year in particular, I had a group of ladies that came to me in the summer. These were ladies of children in the 4th grade, or coming up to 4th grade.
Right.
And they said, you know, we really want to make this a viable organization. We want to be here in the school. We want to see a difference. And they've been wonderful.
Good.
They've been very good about organizing well. They've been very good about pulling people in to volunteer. So I've been very, very pleased with them.
Because that's usually a huge step forward, in my opinion, whenever you get more parents involved and they're taking more pride in the school where their child or
Yes.
children are attending, then everything seems to kick up a little bit.
Now, I can't say, we've increased a little bit the attendance at PTA meetings, but my parents really don't like to come to meetings. They'll come to a parent night. They will volunteer, but they're not meeting goers. We struggle with getting a lot of input at meetings. However, they do, our president sends out emails to her group, and she gets feedback that way, and they do that pretty well.
Okay.
Anyone else have a question? Just got a quick one.
Sure.
When I see things on here such as grade level, teacher collaboration, were they meeting, I think it was in here every other week,
Yes.
data walls, different things like that.
Yes, sir.
How is the staff buying into that?
Well, to be honest, when we started out with the data wall, they were shocked that
Okay.
we would put data on a wall first, and second, that we expected them to speak about what we were seeing. However, as the weeks have gone by, the light bulbs have gone off, and they have talked about it, whether informally or formally, and I think that this is a good move in the right direction. I would not say that they're there yet. This is going to be a work in progress, but the data team that I've put together that is meeting to kind of drive that initiative are really, they have bought into it. They are sold on it. And in fact, they are the ones that say, well, I do this all the time in my classroom, why aren't other people doing it? So I do believe that for the most part, the boat's going in the right direction. There may be a few anchors thrown in there to slow it down, but it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, probably going to always be a few.
Yeah.
Because, I just, was not concerned, but just around, best practice teachers coming in
Yes.
from other schools. I know sometimes, quite honestly, that doesn't always go over that great.
Well, you're correct.
I think it should, but
And I
that
think-
doesn't mean it is just because I think so.
You're correct, but I think if we approach it in the way that we're not here to point fingers,
Right.
we're here to have this be a positive experience, and we're here to help you and to help the children, which is the reason why we're here in the
I was
first
going to
place.
say, we're here to help the children. That's
Exactly.
why we're here. Okay.
The after-school program?
Yes, ma'am.
Cornerstone, is that held on your campus, or
Yes.
is it held at?
It's held on our campus, so the students go right from, when they're dismissed, they go to the cafeteria, they get a snack, and then they go with their teachers to classrooms at our school,
Okay, and who are they instructed by?
our teachers.
Your teacher?
And some of them are the same teachers that they might have had during the day. We have 7 teachers each day that are working with these students.
Did you put that cap on there, or is that recommended, on the number of students involved in corner?
That's the cap that was put on by the grant. And we could increase it to 200. Our attendance rate has been 90+ every day.
Wow.
90. So, the kids like it. The parents are very, very appreciative that their students are getting a way to be helped, especially in the homework area. Many times students go home and parents do not know how to help them. So we've been really, really pleased with the parent feedback that we've gotten.
Okay. Any other questions? You want us to approve these one at a time, I guess?
You can.
Yeah, we can. So if there's no more questions, entertain a motion to approve the plan that they have attached.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the recommendation coming from PS Jones.
And I second it.
John Small.
John Small.
John Small.
John Small.
But I know what you mean.
And I second it.
Okay, and we have a second, so no other questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, plan's approved. Now, Ms. Haney gets to come up.
Thank you, Ms. Green.
Thank you very much for coming.
Well, good afternoon, board members. I'm Catherine Dehaney. I'm the principal at SW Snowden. Thank you also for this opportunity to present our action plan. And I'd like to thank Ms. E.C. Peed and Terry Williams for attending our recent academic celebration that we had on Friday. Thank you very much.
Enjoy.
As I review the plan with you, and I'm going to do it a little bit differently, I am going to first of all look at our action plan, which you have access to online, but you will notice that there is a strong emphasis on partnerships, school climate, communication, and community engagement. This is, of course, in addition to improving our academics and our student performance in every single area. And recently, Dr. Phipps gave all of the principals a book called Beyond the Bake Sale, and it's all about engaging the community, and that's something that really helps improve academics. It's an excellent book, and one of the quotes that I enjoyed from that was, research has shown that a well-executed partnership goes hand in hand with school improvement. In addition to raising student proficiency in reading, math, and science, we plan to move our school from being a school that tends to be called "come when we call you to school" to being a partnership school. In other words, we want community collaboration and a positive climate to stimulate the academic growth at our school. And one thing that we try to remind ourselves that school improvement is not a set program. It's all about the people that are involved. So with that in mind, I'd like to start looking at our action plan. And you should be able to see that on your board docs.
Okay.
When we looked at our data, As you know, we're a low-performing school. In 2015, data indicated that we had 37% proficiency for reading, 22 for math, 29 for science, and our overall achievement score was 29, which, as you know, is significantly lower than the LEA here and the state. So we have a lot of work to do. And there has been a marked decline in scores over recent years that could be attributed to the high turnover rate for teachers. There were teachers that really weren't committed, there was a high turnover rate, and that affected the continuing instruction. But now we have had the opportunity to hire 2 new administrators, 8 new teachers, and a new counselor. And there is already a whole different energy at our school. We've got some very dedicated folks that are willing to do what's right for kids. Another thing, too, that we're really looking at is our students with disabilities population. Only 12% achieve passing scores, and this is significantly low. As a direct result, all of the students with IEPs have been reevaluated and adjustments have been made as needed. So we're really looking deeply at those. And the goal is to increase the appropriateness and the effectiveness for this specific population. One of the most encouraging pieces of data was our excellent attendance rate. You know, we're well beyond 96% of our students that are attending every day, and that is really outstanding. And we have also had a big increase in parent, grandparent involvement in school activities and events, and this has made a very positive impact on our school. So I'm looking forward to showing you that with our PowerPoint. We decided on 3 main goals. By the end of the school year, SWS students would demonstrate a higher level of academic achievement and growth in the area of math, reading, and science, and expected gains in proficiency will be at least 10% in each area. That's what we're shooting for. Our second goal, SW Snowden will have service-oriented, inviting, and cooperative relationships with stakeholders, and there is a big push for that, and so far we're doing very well. And we're going to develop friendly, sound, and mutually beneficial relationships with other governmental agencies and community groups towards a betterment of education. And I wanted to go back to Goal 1 because that is very important to us with the proficiency and achievement level of our kids. One of the programs that the curriculum team helped us initiate last year is Number Worlds in K4, and we have already seen a great deal of growth with that. We are also going to continue with Trans Math Daily as a math intervention with our middle school kids, and we're really seeing growth this year in that because when we went to go order our new materials for students, we had to go up a level. So already we could see the impact of that. We're using SRA Daily as an intervention with small groups of students in grades 1 through 5. And again, we've had a data wall since last year, so we use a lot of that data combined with the SRA data to decide on what interventions are needed for these kids. And again, we mentioned that new administrators were hired and 8 highly effective certified staff members. We are well through our first set of observations. We've had our curriculum team down there, and if you talk to any of them, they will tell you how impressed they are with the level of teaching and the focus. So we're very excited about that. And again, classroom observations. We've had our formative and best benchmark testing. We've got our minutes from our PLCs, committees, and leadership team as evidence of that. One of the new things this year is our middle school teachers really put their heads together to develop an incentive program for middle school students to recognize excellence in academics and behavior on a weekly basis. So they have several things going on. Each class period, the kids will get tickets for participation or academic excellence. Those tickets are put into a little bowl. There's a drawing by the end of the week, and students that are drawn will get to participate in the VIP table, which is a special table that's set up in the lunchroom, and middle school kids absolutely love that. Those students that also did not have any problems or in class, they could also have open seating, and for middle school kids, that's so important. Kids that do have issues during the week, they have to sit at their class designated tables, and it's just amazing what an impact that makes for middle school kids, and it's easy and very inexpensive. So that has really worked for them. One of the things that we're really looking at, too, I've had lots of conversations with Michelle Oros, and I've been very concerned that we do not have any students that are identified as academically gifted. And you can see them. You can tell that there's bright kids there, that they've got those tendencies. So we're going to use USTARS Plus, and that is a way of evaluating kids and observing kids to look for these tendencies. And we're going to be specifically looking for different talents and abilities that set these kids apart. And there's activities in this program that also integrate science and math, and it also has a parent communication portion, which is very exciting. If you're interested in knowing more about that, please see me later. I'm very excited to be using that. The author of this program is called Mary Ruth Coleman, and she's actually from this area, and Michelle's been in contact with her, and she's willing to do 4 free staff developments with our teachers. So I'll have to fill you in on that as it comes about. Under Goal 2, we really wanted to develop a service-oriented, inviting, cooperative relations with our stakeholder groups. Our first move was to reestablish our PTO, which we have. We've got 2 young moms that are helping out with that, and our meetings have been well attended. We also had tried to establish a coordinated volunteer program to recruit and assign regular volunteers to all areas of the school. Ms. Gainey, you see here in front of us, she acted as our volunteer coordinator. We've been able to get these volunteers into our schools. In fact, 2 teachers today said, Mr. Haney, I want 2 more volunteers. So that's going to be my task tomorrow morning, is to go through this list and find some other folks. We have a former guidance counselor at our school, for example. She is working one-on-one with a non-English speaker, and she's been using flashcards and helping him. So that's been very successful. Let me see. We've also sent out surveys to teachers to try and identify their specific needs, because not every teacher needs a one-on-one. Someone may just want someone to come on field trips or work with a small group of kids. So we're trying to fine-tune the volunteers to what the teachers need in their classrooms. One thing that we're very excited about is we've been able to collaborate with Hyde Beaufort County Early Childhood Development, and they came to us and said, we've got, we know that you've got a lot of grandparents and aunts and uncles raising these kids. Do you have a room in your school where we could set up a play group for toddlers? And it's called Pat a Cake Daycare. It's kind of cute. But every Wednesday at 10, these toddlers will come to our school. The room is set up. It didn't cost us anything. We just had to look for some small tables and chairs, and they actually have some early intervention literacy strategies that they work with these kids, and it's been it's gone very well. We've got 6 kids that are coming every week. We'd like to eventually have 10, because that's what we can handle. One of the things, our guidance counselor, Mr. Parsons here, he uses rocks, because we've got a program, Snowden Rocks, to identify kids or catch kids doing great things. It can also be teachers, it could be volunteers, and then they get read over the intercom. So we're looking to recognize character traits and behaviors of all stakeholders within the community. We're also using a broad range of media resources to publicize a wide range of service-oriented activities. And here are some of the things that we have been doing as far as recruiting a broad range of volunteers who are also community helpers. In fact, we had one young lady, Christina Jones, that we nominated for PALS as a small community first responder, and she won. We're very excited about that. We're submitting articles and photos documenting student and stakeholder and community service. We send articles. We're trying to send 1 a week to different newspapers to be published. We're also documenting time spent by community helpers volunteering in our school. And I'm going to show you later, but we actually have a video that our middle school kids made, and it's the first one from this county being submitted at to the State Board of Education about why our school is so great. So they're actually posted on the website, and EC is very proud of that. Yes, she is. And we also try to work on how cool is your school, but they're just not doing elementary grades right now. We're also doing a Hall of Fame to recognize some of the excellent folks that attended Snowden in the past, and we've gotten that started, including a picture of S.W. Snowden. And we were very fortunate in that we found the old the high school sign, Aurora High School, and we also were given some trophy cases from the local Aurora Fossil Museum. Okay. Under our last goal about mutually beneficial relations with government agencies, we have developed a very strong partnership with S.W. Snowden's Bright Futures Council. You know, we meet every month, and they have just been such a great resource. Anything we need, we partner with them. We've got a huge Veterans Day celebration tomorrow, and we've got 30 veterans coming from the local community. We're going to do a breakfast for them and recognize them, and thanks to Barbara Jones, who heads it up. It's been a very exciting year so far. We're also trying to become a museum school through our partnership with the Aurora Fossil Museum. Dr. Cindy Crane has just been a great resource, and we started researching museum schools throughout the nation. And in fact, I was in contact with some principals down in Atlanta, and they have of course, they're a magnet school. There aren't too many Title I schools that are museum schools, but I think we're going to be able to make this happen, and I can tell you a little bit more about that, how you have an exhibit later on, and how you integrate math, science, literacy, and presentation skills, but that's going to be something we're hoping to do in the spring. We have several collaborative projects in the works right now, and they're also looking at having me serve on their museum board as well too. We have 2 8th graders and 2 6th graders that are currently doing internships on Saturdays. So we're really looking forward to making that work. One of the other strategies under Goal 3 was to continue to strengthen the STEM components of our after-school SPLASH program. Like many other schools, we had this SPLASH program, but we have almost our entire school that's enrolled, and they attend regularly. And we have field trips on Saturday. They've gone to the Wright Brothers Museum. They went to a jazz band festival in Greenville one Saturday. But one of the things that's very exciting is we've got almost a completed sound studio set up where kids can write and compose their own music. We're getting the rest of the pieces at the end of November, but again, you've got your engineering, you've got your writing, you've got your music composition. We're also going to schedule training sessions for students during SPLASH to continue to compose and create. We're also going to use SPLASH staff and other interested staff to receive a USTA training session in December. And I don't know if you know too much about that, but it's the USTA program also has an ACE component that has character ed. It also has mathematics. It's got other things that we sneak into sports, and that's the trick with kids is, you know, you can always sneak some mathematics and some reading into sports. But that's scheduled. We're going to have other community folks participate in that. We are also we have just recently downloaded Lego software in the computer lab, and that's also got the robotics component. So again, you've got more STEM activities, but our regular kids that don't participate in SPLASH will also have access. And the SPLASH teachers are beginning their investigations with the Lego robotics. One of the last things about sharing weekly calendar items and our accomplishments, because we felt like that was missing from our school, where there was lots of great things going on at the school, people didn't know about it, is I use a weekly electronic newsletter through some more, and what it allows you to do as a Title I school is document everything that you are doing throughout the week with pictures. You catch teachers doing great things with kids, you put it on there. In fact, I was telling Dr. Phipps, at first it was a lot of work for me, but see, now teachers send me stuff because they want to be in there, and it's almost hard to keep up with them. I think I had 4 teachers send me stuff last week, and they all wanted to be featured. So on that note, I'm just going to run through the fun part, and let me see. Okay. Let's see if this works. We were playing with this earlier, but I've got a video embedded, so it's like. Okay. It's not going to work now. Oh. Okay. This is, you can see here our staff participation. You know, it was that we had to bring in some other chairs. This was our welcome back meeting. When we had an academic banquet, we didn't have room for the students. We had to pull in, you know, all these chairs too. This is pre-K. celebrating colors. And recently, Potash Corporation came to me and said they were so happy with things that were happening at Snowden, they wanted to do something nice with the staff of the students. So they are actually giving us winter coats for every student and staff member with our emblem on it. So we're very excited about that. And again, that was a gift. They came to us. So the caption there is our community supports us. This is a new season with our Channel 3 News, and the kids do this, and it's publicized throughout the school during the day. And this is our local Aurora Public Library. We have a partnership with them as well, and they've been a great resource for us. Some bust of the bus. And this is our staff helped the volleyball team with a scrimmage. You know, our numbers were kind of small, and Coach came to us and said, look, these kids have not had a chance to practice with anybody but themselves. So we pulled in some of our staff members, and we were quite surprised. You know, Mr. White, our band teacher, was, you know, quite the athlete. We just didn't know, full of surprises. And these are some kids that they're using some of their math skills to design and measure some of these cushions for our library. This is one of the kids that he's actually had 2 awards. He's been Math Student of the Week and he's been Science Student of the Week, and you can tell this little guy's pretty proud of himself. And here is another old friend, Smokey, and you know, these first responders love to come to our school. There they are again. And this is the VIP students, and there's Miss Moore there, our assistant principal. She did not want me to use this picture, but here it is. And those are the kids celebrating and enjoying being at that special table for their week-long accomplishments. And this is a parent, actually, right here. And she is doing a session with our pre-K on yoga. You can see how relaxed the kids feel. And this is our first multiplication battle ever. You know, we're always looking for ways to connect the middle school and our elementary school. And we found the older kids had forgotten some of their multiplication facts. So 4th grade put them to a challenge. So, and this was so serious that the teachers couldn't be judges. We had to pull in our custodian. I think Mr. Parsons was in there too, because it was serious business. And this is an article our kids actually wrote that was published in the Pamlico News in mid-October. And again, you know, here is literacy, it's communication skills, but you know, we're sneaking it in so it doesn't seem like work. And they were very happy about that. Here's some artwork. This is our teachers learning. You can see how happy they are to be staying after school. And here we got published in 2 papers at once. And Miss McCracken, our media person, said you've got to put this in here, that during this week we were in the Washington Daily News 3 separate occasions, had 3 stories in 1 issue of the Pamlico News, so we're very excited. This is, and Lisa's going to help me here, these are the electronic newsletters, and you can see that I can put all the upcoming events, and you know, you take a picture of different news articles. And this is when we did this big fundraiser for South Carolina, and we did a trunk or treat in that parking lot. Even it was on a Saturday. There were a lot of teachers that showed up, and this was a little girl that won character ed trait for the county, and this was the intense competition. But you could see it's just an opportunity. This is a trivia bee, and I thought we did really well. I thought we probably should have won, but we didn't. And here is S.W. Snowden. And this was, too, again, excellent fire inspection report from the fire marshal. You know, it's a way of recognizing our custodial staff that work very hard to keep things clean. And this one is, you can scroll down. Is that, yeah, that's the video. This is the video that they submitted to the State Board of Education.
Welcome to a special edition of WSWS. We invite you to see and hear about what makes our public school great.
Look at the students in Classcraft software.
Look at the student planning scenes in the greenhouse.
Look at these students using the system.
Look at these students working outside in the reading garden.
Look at these students doing math on the wall.
Look at these students with apples from the apple tree.
Look at these students admiring the artwork.
Okay, that's a little staged. Well, the thing is, too, is these kids wrote this, they produced it, they put it all together, so that was very impressive. And I think, was there one more? Yes. And you could see. And what we do with these is if you go to our Snowden webpage and you go down to helpful links, all of these are archived, so any parent, anybody can look at them. But again, you know, what I did here is with the ecosystems, it's an opportunity as a principal, you know, to go around and catch these kids doing these great things. And, you know, the teachers, again, really want to be up here. Here's when Miss Ratliff's third grade classes created their own class constitution. So it's just a great way to get around campus, capture kids and teachers doing great things, and encouraging them. Oh, that's when I wanted to share this, Governor Hunt's library. I put that on there because I was so excited when I came back. It was just really neat. They've got robotic stacks, and our kids are interested in that, so I took some pictures there. And that's really the nuts and bolts.
Okay.
And also, too, we like to put a little paragraph down there about us so people have an idea of who we are and what we're about. Are there any questions?
Any questions? I think she's covered it all.
I'm sorry I went over my 7 minutes.
That's okay. Oh, I didn't know you had 7 minutes.
Well, I was told.
Okay, well.
Thank you all very much. And again, if you have more questions, feel free to send me an email.
So we need a motion to approve their plan as well.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, plan's approved. Thank you for coming, Mr. Parsons. Thank you for coming as well. Ms. Green, thank you. So, where's she at? Yeah, oh, there she is. Well, she's behind Ms. Gaynor, so I can't, yeah. Let's see. We'll move on now to injury and loss prevention policy. Don's got.
This is a new policy, 4201 and 7271. This is a requirement from the General Assembly. This actually has to be put in place and approved by the 30th of November. And we're working with the School Board Association in drafting the policy to make sure all the intent of the law is covered. And I've got it here for you to approve, hopefully on first reading. We need to get this put in place. The key is going to be the second paragraph where the superintendent has to establish a system-wide health and safety leadership team. And this is to oversee different operations and functions of the school district. Many we have in place already, but this sort of casts a net and captures all those activities together. So we'll be working on that and come back with you as a separate presentation. But we need to get the policy approved, and then we'll start the work on putting everything together as required by law.
Any questions after you've read over it? If not, I need to entertain a motion first to set aside our rules and approve it on first reading. Anybody wants to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to set aside our rules. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we need a motion to approve this policy, if that's what you so desire.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nobody opposed? Got your motion?
Thank you.
Can I ask a question that hasn't
Sure.
done affect the vote? Did we not have anything similar to this already on the books?
We have bits and pieces, but this pulls it all together to make sure that every school system is required to have it now.
Okay. I thought I had read some of this in other places before.
We do a lot of the training at the beginning of the year where teachers go through the bloodborne pathogens training and a lot of that. But
You just pulled it all into
That's right.
one policy instead of
So this
separating.
isn't replacing anything that...
This isn't.
We'll be able to capture much of what we're already doing just under this umbrella.
One little package. Okay, Stan, I think you're up with a capital update.
Can you do yours in 7 minutes?
5.
Real fast,
You want us to pull up the November update first? That
Please,
part?
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Capital update
Gotcha.
2015 is 11/9/15,
Gotcha.
and we'll all be together. Are you there?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Just to give you all an update on 2 items that have been completed and finished. Our 6 vacuum cleaners that were capital items were purchased in the amount of $2,248.16. They were purchased under state contract.
From who?
Image Supply. Well, really, Karchner, and they were delivered by Image Supply, which is their distributor. But we bought them through state contract. This Karchner, or however you want to pronounce it, Karcherna.
I was wondering how it's pronounced.
Yes, sir. Yep. Then we purchased our propane buffer from Image Supply, and that was an item y'all approved, but it is in, and it's at Chocowinity Chocowinity Primary School and has been used. They love it.
Is it going to stay there? Or
Yes,
is it
ma'am,
just
it's
there
for
now?
that school, yes, ma'am. Yep, their old one was an electric one and had problems with getting the parts for it and batteries. It was in use, but it was on its last leg, so it came in a perfect opportunity. Moving on to projects in progress, tongue twister there. Washington High School field house is a little behind due to rain, and it's getting behind each day that it rains more, but they do have the side of the building up. It's attached in a picture there on the goalpost side, and the other two walls are just about at the same height. It's coming along, but they definitely need some dry weather to lay blocks. P.S. Jones concession stand. They actually made a little further ahead than the picture y'all have attached. They were like the second or third row, but they work Saturday and they have it up to the top cap ready for the installation of the rafters that I hope will be put up tomorrow. John Cotton Taylor roof project has started, and again, it's weather's putting us behind. Every day it rains is a day. They wanted to come to work bad, so I assume they will be here tomorrow if the weatherman's correct in his forecast too. EdTech media air condition is in. Contractor's ready to put it on, but again, we're on weather. We take the old air conditioning off, we open the roof up to the elements, so it has to be scheduled for good sunny weather. Eastern Elementary multi-purpose building. We have our first pre-construction meeting scheduled for November the 16th at 3:30, and it will be held at my office at Plant Operations. A.R. Cheston is eagerly ready to go.
When do we anticipate? I know, because I understand the process, and we have lots of meetings to go through, and we've been through a lot.
Still got to get the contract signed. It is in the mail to me to be delivered for y'all's signature.
Okay.
And then we have our pre-construction meeting, and we will determine a schedule from there. So next time I'll be able to give you a whole schedule of when the project will be going. Northside concession stand announcer stand. Yes, the framing is completed, it's up, steps are in, and they hope to do some rough-in electrical and plumbing this week, weather permitting. There's a picture attached for it also for y'all's viewing. And then the next items I will need approval on tonight if possible. Chocowinity Middle School. This will be completing the rest of the windows in the 100 building. My quotes are attached, and my recommendation is that we go with Glass Tech, which was our low bidder of $30,150. We move on altogether, Mr. Terry, as before?
Yeah, just go ahead and move, unless someone stops you.
Okay.
He's got
Anybody
all
have
the
a question about
contract
that one?
bids attached, so you can look at them, but no.
And he's also included, as you all asked, what the capital budget line item was for that particular.
Why is there such a difference in what we figured for the building 4 roof?
We took a quote from previous year, and that's what we do when we have to get these, because we had such a hard time obtaining quotes for jobs, being we went so many years and didn't do any construction, and they bid.
Right.
And I think some of these numbers were thrown off the hip from before, so I hope in the future with us doing more construction that we'll get a more accurate price from here in the
So we didn't change the work?
No, sir, just scope of that 100 building, finishing 3 classrooms, I think it was, and then that little teacher's lounge. But that'll finish the rest of that building.
If anybody can't see it, that was set aside $90,000.
Yes, sir.
But we're actually going to get it for $29,200.
$200.
And then you've got 2 at the bottom that were not part of our budget?
Yes, ma'am, I'll get there in a second.
There.
Southside track erosion capital project. The budget was $50,000. It came in at $37,500 to Sinclair Trucking was the low bidder. So it's my recommendation that we go with Sinclair Trucking on that project. Washington House.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, sir.
Because you and I walked out there on that one.
Yes, sir.
I read through the bid, but I didn't understand everything. They'll put like a retaining wall and fill it in, or they're going to put the tile and fill it in?
They'll do the excavation of the existing.
Right.
What's there, one section of pipe back, clean the existing ditch out, 200 linear feet of concrete pipe, 2 boxes with storm drains on top, and then backfill all the dirt back in to make the grade from the existing track level over to the fence level.
Right.
So it'll still be at about a 10-degree slope, but it'll be enough we can keep it from washing.
Yeah, I saw they had 190 loads figured into
That's what's estimated, yes, sir.
That's a ton. More than a ton. 190 loads.
That's a lot of dirt.
That's a lot of dirt. Okay.
The next two are for soil testing and concrete testing. These items are part of the contracts that to be done by owner in the Washington High School project and the P.S. Jones project. And they coming back to you tonight for approval because the existing accounts are out of money, so it would have to come from the capital fund for approval of these two projects. And Washington High School was $3,000 and P.S. Jones was $2,000. We got a contract not to exceed. Of course, it determines on the amount of testing to be done by how much bad soil we have, whether the concrete doesn't pass slump. Mr. Oliver here knows a lot more about that than probably most of the board members, but there's a lot of testing that goes on involving proof rolling of the pre-slab before it is, and then having the concrete tested. They do a lot of testing involved, but there's no way to get a hard, firm contract price. But these were these two contracts did not come in with the correct wording and money, and Ms. Lynn has signed them, but we need approval for funding in our counts. Both of those counts are running low on.
Does that sound about right, Butch?
Yeah, those prices are about right. What we're doing.
Okay. Any other questions?
And you say they're not to exceed?
Yes, sir, they're not to exceed.
Okay. Any other questions on any of those? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 projects here.
And that money from the $3,000 and the $2,000 will need to come from the capital fund balance, right, Ms. Lynn?
Correct.
Okay.
So was that $90,000 built into our budget? I mean, was it built into our funds?
Which 90,000?
The first.
The first one, because we're coming in $60,000 under, so I think we can spend $2,000.
No,
That's what I'm asking. Was it
not-
built in? What was it there for?
That's part of your budget. It's
Right.
not part of allocated as part of the fund balance yet, but.
Right.
Right.
So, I mean, it was there if we needed it, is what I'm
Yes,
saying.
it
So that
would,
should be
yes.
$60,000.
That's going to create a fund balance.
That's right. That is exactly right. That's what I was getting around to. Okay. If no other questions, we can approve all these together, can't we? Yeah.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
What he's presented.
All items. Okay. And I heard a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. They're done. Thank you.
Y'all have a good night.
Well,
That was 8 minutes, by the way.
hey. They have you on timer.
I think it was 7 minutes. I don't think.
Ms. Harrell, I think you're up on a budget resolution.
We're not going to put her on the clock. She writes it.
We need to listen real careful to her.
Exactly.
Okay, as I understand it, you have a copy of the 2015-16 budget, proposed adopted budget for this fiscal year. The total budget presented is $72,101,118.84. Of that, your local budget is $14,658,257.18, which will require a fund balance appropriation of $1,085,813.18. That's approximately $200,000 less than what we discussed previously when we came and said that we were looking at $1.3 million. We looked at several things to reduce that fund balance. One is a $99,000 reduction in the amount of allocation to technology for this year, a $31,488 reduction because of moving personnel from local to state and replacing those with non-personnel cost, which saved the amount of state bonus. Moving some transportation expenses out of local and into state funding, and if we were to get an additional amount of state funding for transportation in the future, we could possibly move some additional expenses out of local, and a $24,000 adjustment to the amount that we showed as county funding because the number that we were given originally wasn't exactly right. So again, our appropriation for fund balance stands right now at $1,085,813.18. We hope to work towards this year reducing that as much as possible through various ways, like reduction in some costs due to changing contracts with and
toner cartridges and that kind of stuff, but we can't know 100% how much that's going to change till the end of the year. So right now, that's our best estimate at what we're going to need for this year. We have any questions?
Okay. Yeah, anybody have any questions for on the board? When I pull up the snapshot, has anybody looked at that?
That's what I'm looking at.
Okay. I mean, I understand what you're saying here, just want an explanation on the bonus issue. You got $135,639 that you're saving based on $750 bonus, but you're saving more than the $750 bonus. Isn't that correct? Is that what you're not saying, or is that what you're saying?
In the first little section, when we presented it to you to begin with, that was part of how much our increase to what we're going to need. We were saying because of the $750 per employee bonus, we were going to need $135,000 in addition, local money that we hadn't counted on previously. Since that time, what we've done in the budget is trade state and local money. We moved non-employee, non-personnel cost out of state money to local and moved some personnel from local to state. And when we moved those personnel to state, their $750 bonus went with them.
Right, I understand that.
Okay, so by doing that, we saved about $35,000.
Okay, but total figure's 135, right?
Well, that's what it originally was.
Right,
We'd be able to back this amount, the 31,000.
We couldn't move all of it.
That's right.
We couldn't move everybody.
So based on that, you moved how many people?
I don't know exactly how many. I'll have to get that back to you. It'd have to be.
That's what I was trying to figure, because I'd done the math. It seemed like a lot. If it was just based on bonus only, there was a lot of people moved from local to state.
There were quite a few.
But that's what I was saying. It wasn't just the 750. Isn't that what you're saying? It was other costs too.
There's 750 plus the cost of 7.65%.
Right. Okay. Did you have a
Well,
question,
if it's about $1,000, well, it's not quite $1,000 per person. You're talking about
that's what I was gonna say.
probably about 30
people, give or take.
35 people.
And we moved that many people over there?
We did. I moved, for example, a big pot that I moved, we were paying instructional supply funds. We were giving the schools an allotment of instructional supply funds out of low wealth funding. And instead of using that money for instructional supplies, I used it for personnel and paid the instructional supply money out of local.
And that, you can do that?
Absolutely.
Well, it's not uncommon, don't
you? No,
You do it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It just didn't start.
I think she's on the question you asked about.
Yeah, I guess the question, I'm not saying it right. If you move 30 people from local to state, and you saved the $750, I get that bonus. But if you move them from local to state, don't you save their salary that goes with them?
No.
I mean, because then it doesn't sound like we're really moving them then. That's what I want to know.
I did move them, but I traded, instead of their salary, I'm taking the same amount for their salary and benefits other than the $750, the same amount in non-employee costs out of state and moving that to local.
Gotcha. So we're just swapping is what we're doing.
Exactly. But by swapping it, therefore the state absorbs the $750.
I understand.
And it goes in a pot where we don't have to account for it.
Right. So since we just swap out, we saved the $750 bonus is what we saved. So.
Exactly.
Now, the other two things we look at, and we can't budget, and I'm glad that Lynn doesn't, we can't budget on lapsed salary because you have no idea what's going to go on in the year, but we try to capture as much of that as we can. And also utility costs. At the last energy team meeting, we're doing very well right now, but we have no idea what the winter is going to bring. But if we can hold our own and kind of keep that trend up, that'll help us on the local side as well. So we hope as we get into the spring, we'll be able to come back with more updated numbers that look positive, more positive compared to what we have right here.
Can you explain to me the moving transportation expenses? It's almost $60,000. What
we had what brought it to light is that we have had somebody in transportation who is resigning, and when I looked at transportation personnel, there was somebody who is still in transportation who is being paid out of local funding, and I talked to our transportation director and said, why, why is she being paid out of local funding? And he said it came from previous years where she had another job function, and therefore she was coded that way, and the coding had never changed. So she is now appropriately performing tasks that legitimately can be paid with state transportation funds. So her salary and accompanying benefits were moved out of local into state.
I want to make a quick statement. I know that what you have been doing has been overwhelming, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
I really do. Thank you. Because I know this has been and you're not done.
No, it's an ongoing process.
I know, but I appreciate that. In the year when we're seeing expenses go up, to know that you are chasing every nickel and dime, I really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you. That's what I do.
Any other questions? Okay, then we need a motion to approve this budget.
That doesn't mean that I'm happy about what we're doing.
Well, there's a lot of things we
Still
do.
not happy about what we're taking out of fund balance.
There's a
but,
lot of things I've done right here I'm not happy about.
Mr. Chairman, I move to accept the recommendation from the finance department.
Second. Thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. There's no more questions. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we finally have a budget. Thank you. Officially.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for closed session. It's running itself.
I have to go, once I do this, I have to turn it off. I move that we go into closed session pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11, A1, to prevent disclosure of confidential personnel files under General Statute 115C-321, and pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11, A5, to instruct the board's agents concerning negotiations involving the acquisition of real property adjacent to Chocowinity Primary School.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to go into closed session. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We're in closed session.
Thank you all. Y'all did a great job.
We're back in open session, and the first item up, we need to approve the personnel agenda that we just discussed.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Calendar updates. There's two things attached here.
One is the month of November for the most part, and then the one meeting in December. And then we also, you had requested at the last meeting that we give you a list of activities that are scheduled from now until the end of the Christmas break. And we have that. We have had some more come in, so we'll send that out to you again electronically. But we're trying to work on that so that you know what's going on. The 23rd is our regular board meeting, which will be the Monday prior to Thanksgiving. The next week is the date that we were going to have the other schools come in to do their school improvement plans. And my goal on this is to start at 4 p.m. and to finish at 6. I want to run it 120 minutes, keeping folks on a time limit on what we do. That will be from 4 to 6.
This is November the 30th.
Can you give us a buzzer?
Yeah, we've used a timer in the past to let folks know when they had a minute or two left to go.
Well, I can understand why they need more than
That's
that.
right. Did you want to change it to 2?
You know, I like to say this,
I think it's mine.
and I'm not for an extra meeting, especially during this time of year. But that's a lot of information to absorb. In that length of time.
It is.
And if we give them more time, that makes for an extremely long meeting, and that's difficult too, so.
Mike, how about if we...
I guess I'm stating the obvious,
yeah.
but I just.
Well, I agree with you, but how about if we, make that attempt, and if it starts going long, I think we need to be prepared to cut it off, even though that means there will be principals here that are prepared to speak that may not be able to.
It's just the sheer number of people we have to listen to. Are we really being fair, to them and to ourselves? And maybe I'm making more of that than I should. Maybe we really...
Well, no, you need to have time.
Maybe they need to be able to summarize in a tighter kind of way, but sometimes...
Well, you could do
shortchanged.
You could do 2 or 3 on the 23rd. You could do 6 on the 30th and 2 or 3 in December if you wanted to do that.
You mean incorporate them into our regular meeting?
If I start something, I don't want anybody mad at me.
Yeah, and I don't want to eat into their Decembers, because I think that's such a short month for, principals have programs at their schools, and...
Well, I can live with this.
Well, how about Don's idea, we just put a couple into our other meetings, no more than a couple. They add 15 minutes into.
Well, what's wrong with moving? Are you gonna have any coming in on the 23rd?
That's what he was saying.
That's what Don was saying, just have a couple come in at the next two meetings, and that way you won't have to have them all.
You've already done 2, so you got 12 left to do. So if we did 2 or 3, then you'd only have 9 or 10 on the 30th.
I like that idea.
I think I like that idea, because I want board members to be able to feel like if they have questions, they have time to ask them.
Let's do 3, then you only have 9 on the 30th.
Okay, so that just, but we'll still start at 5:30 on the 23rd.
Right.
Yeah.
And then okay.
That should be able to get it down.
Well,
and if we get Bill Bro and Mac over to the timer, it'll be all right then.
We'll have a gong.
I think we missed on the 3rd of December, our minority hiring meeting.
December 3rd.
Yeah, we missed that in last month when we were doing the December.
Is that 5 p.m.?
It's at 5.
Okay.
Yeah, on the 3rd.
On a Thursday?
On a Thursday.
Okay.
And then the 14th, notice the start time on that, there'll be one meeting that month, and then we'll have our dinner afterwards in the garage.
Yeah, change the time there, a little bit earlier. Okay. Is that all you have on the calendar? Any board member updates?
Just wanted to remind everybody about our Ag Expo on Thursday. We want to invite everybody.
Tell us that time again, Matt.
Start at 9:30.
9:30.
Go to 1:30.
Okay.
Not at Northside this year.
Yeah, if you go to
Bob
Northside,
Martin.
you're going to be down there by yourself. Yeah.
At the Bob Martin, whatever they call that.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about if it's raining.
No, everything's covered. We are protected.
Okay.
Like I say again, a lot of our staff has done a lot of long, hard hours on this stuff. So
I can imagine everything I've seen at them, how long it must take to put it together.
really do
Probably all
appreciate
year.
everybody's help on it.
Probably been working on it all year.
And I want to wish by the time the public sees this, the games will have been played, but I want to wish the athletic teams from the surrounding high schools on their pursuit of playoffs, both in soccer and football, and wish luck to the upcoming middle schools and high schools that have their winter sports that will be starting right around the corner. And
real soon.
Safe travels, and good luck to all of them.
Okay. Superintendent updates?
Got a couple things I want to share with you. We received notification from the City of Washington recently in an October 19th meeting. The Washington City Council unanimously approved to terminate their agreement with us with Kugler Field. And we've talked about this. We've seen some things through the years of issues that we tried to resolve. No, there's not a problem other than the kind of a limited amount of time that they use it in the 6 months that they have it. But really more than anything is the maintenance cost and where they're at trying to squeeze their budget as well. So they've decided to pull out. I don't have a plan for you right now. I have talked to the Washington Youth Football League. We'll also look at some of our other options, and we'll be coming back to you in the months to come of what we might be able to do on that property. So that's just an update piece of information for you. We also have a program that I encourage you to go out and take a look at called Rachel's Challenge. Rachel Scott was one of the girls who was a victim in the Columbine shootings a few years ago, and her family has rallied, and they do a program that they go around the country with, and we've had it at Washington, Northside and Southside, anti-bullying, and just a very positive message. We've had students that really have been moved. It's a very powerful program, and we've had that going on, and we hope to see some good things out of that. I want to also give you some great news. I got a call today from Ed Dunlap, who's Executive Director for the North Carolina School Boards Association. I asked you all last time that we met if we could submit an award on behalf of the board, for the board to be recognized for the Award for Excellence in Educational Programming that focused on what we've done in the area of dropout reduction and graduation increases, and got a call today and said that you all are the winners. So you'll be recognized at the School Board Association Annual Conference next week. So I'm proud of you, and good job on that. And the last thing I want to say is the only day, the public may not be aware of this, the only identified day in the school calendar for an entire year that we're not allowed to have school is Veterans Day.
Veterans Day.
And I wanted to say, how many veterans do we have on the board? How about family members of veterans?
Okay.
I want to say thank you. And to those that are watching, we are grateful for the service for individuals, whether you're a active duty, reserve, retired, or if you're a family member. There's just so many sacrifices that have been made, and we're grateful for that. And we'll be out of school on Wednesday, and hopefully everybody in their own way will recognize and honor those who have served. But we thank you.
Barbara, you'll let them bring you breakfast, won't you?
I really would appreciate it.
Mr. Chair, I
Yes,
want
ma'am.
to add that, I know everybody, I don't know if you've been waiting to hear what was going on with the project that's supposed to be going on at Tech from the KB Reynolds grant. Well, we met on Tuesday night with the city, who had a public meeting, and it looks like they're moving forward with what they have, but they're trying to squeeze more money from the KB Reynolds to get more things done. But they do have enough to go ahead and get started with the walking trail on the campus. And I'm excited, and I know the community is excited with what they are going to do on that campus. So they are sending great thank yous to the board for their allowing them to use that property.
Yeah, well, we're just allowing they're doing the work. Anything else from anybody?
Just to add to what Don said about Rachel's challenge thing, I talked to students from Washington and Northside, and it was an extremely powerful program. They were very moved by the whole program itself. If any of you ever get a chance to look at it, I think they've got some stuff on the internet about it, but it's
definitely worth it.
Yeah,
it sure is. Okay, I'll entertain one more motion for the night.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Have a good week, folks.